Alright, welcome back to Demon Bluff. We'll do Standard Ascension 4. There are two evils among all characters. Find and kill them. These two right here. We flip the first card and find the Architect. They're telling us the right side of the circle is more evil, unless they're lying. Number 2 is the Judge. They can tell if someone's lying, unless they themselves are corrupted. Another Judge. There should only be one. It could be the Doppelganger, or it could be one of these two. The Doppelganger is good, but they are an outcast. Who are you? The Alchemist. They cured one corruption. Does anyone corrupt here? Yes, the Plague Doctor can corrupt. Is there a Plague Doctor on the board? There are 3 judges. There should only be one. So either there's a Doppelganger as a judge, or they're both evils as a judge. We have the Dreamer. Learn an evil roll. If evil picked, learn correct info. Number 7, we have another Dreamer. So many duplicates. There can only be 3 copies right now. You, and you. Which means you have to be good and you have to be good. Are you the Doppelganger? Wait, where's the Plague Doctor? No, the Shaman makes it so there are 2 same villager roles in the current village. So there can be a duplicate. So there could be 2 good judges. Or 2 good dreamers. But there is no Plague Doctor, which means you're lying. And you can't be corrupted because the Plague Doctor who isn't there is the only one that can corrupt out of you guys right over here. Which means you are a bad guy. You are Ba, who adds a fake outcast to the deck view. And the Plague Doctor was the fake one. Now I just need to find the Shaman. Since you are here, that means we have a duplicate somewhere, either you or you, that the Shaman made of like 2 good ones. And then there's the Shaman itself copying, and the Doppelganger copying. We have 1, 2, 3 extras, so it's all in here, which means you have to be good, and you have to be good. You are 3 cards away from closest evil. You're telling the truth because you're not corrupted, which means you must be good, and you must be good, and that you must be good. And you're saying the right side is more evil, which means you must be the bad one, and we can just go ahead and take you out just like that. The village is safe, you are the Doppelganger. But there's more villages to save here on Ascension 4. What do we have this time? We have Lilith and the Witch and Doppelganger again. At night, kill a random unrevealed character, deals 2 damage to me. Night happens every like few ticks over here, when this little thing goes there, there, and there. My hit points is over there in the bottom left. And I can't reveal the last character because of the Witch. Check this over here. We have the Poet. They're saying 1 or 6 is a witch. Kind of self-reporting there a bit. Casting sus here and here. There's no corruption on the board because there's no corruption characters. So everybody's either telling the truth or they are a baddie. The thing is, the baddies can't tell the truth. So if there is a witch in these 2 spots here, you would be a baddie telling the truth because you'd be self-reporting. And baddies can't tell the truth. So you can't be bad, which means you have to be good? Which means this has to be the witch, right? Yes! We deduced it! Corruption will make that a lot harder. Between 2, 5, and 6, there is a minion, an outcast, and a villager. Unless you're lying, in which case all your info are villagers. You're a hard one to get value from. Let's flip this. About to take 2 damage. Oh, hello! 2 bishops. One could be the Doppelganger, or one could be Lilith. So you're saying 2, 5, and 6. You're saying 2, 4, and 6. I find it really hard to get value out of you. Maybe I have to like have a lot more cards revealed. We're going to take 2 damage here because I revealed enough cards for Lilith's ability to activate. There's only 1 pair of evil. You're either, because there's no corruption, you're either telling the truth or you are the evil. Check over here. Oh, you killed this one. Can I flip this one that's dead? No. Flip you. I am the original baker, they say. Baker. Upon reveal, 1 random unrevealed good villager becomes a baker. So they just converted an unrevealed villager into a baker. Interesting. Learn which villager I was. If lies, I say that was a random villager roll. So this next card I flip will also be a baker because you converted it. And it'll say what they used to be when we do this. No, you didn't convert. Wait, if you didn't use your ability to... Wait, no, 1 random unrevealed good villager becomes a baker. I mean, it could be you, right? Or perhaps one of you is the baddie and the other is the outcast and there are no unrevealed villagers? Or you could be the baddie lying about being the baker? Between 2, 5, and 6, you're saying there's a minion, an outcast, and a villager. Well, there was indeed a minion, the witch, and you're saying there's an outcast and a villager. So there might be potential outcasts over here. If I can find that Doppelganger. Between 2, 6, and 4, same thing. So you are also saying you're both agreeing on the bad one. So that's correct. Wait a second. You're both agreeing on the minion. You're both agreeing on the minion. If either of you was lying, then you wouldn't have pointed out the minion. You would all say villagers, which means you're both telling the truth, which means one of you is good and one of you is the doppelganger. Okay. You're both pointing to 6 as the minion, and you're both pointing to 2 as the doppelganger, so you are the doppelganger, for sure, and you're just good. Doppelganger might as well just be good, right? For, keeping track of things. Which narrows it down. There's only one pair of evil. If you're evil or you're evil, then that's true. If that's the bad one, well, if that's the bad one, the round would be over because you've been killed already. So you were not the bad one. So it means you had to have been good. Which means you're telling the truth because the evil... I mean, well, if you're the evil here, you could be lying. Yeah, that'll work. There's no corruption. Let's see if the judge is telling the truth or not by just checking something we already know. Number 6 is saying the truth, but the witch can't tell the truth. They can only lie. Which means you're lying, which means you're the bad guy. Yep, you were Lilith. Another village saved. 7 more to go. What do we have this time? We have 3 evils. Twin just lies in disguise. You do the witch that can't reveal the last card. You add a fake outcast, so one of these guys is not actually in there. Okay. The difficulty increases. Witness. Number 2 was affected by an evil. Does anyone corrupt in this? No corruption, no corruption, no corruption. So they're getting lucky in this first levels here that nobody's getting corrupted. Makes it a bit easier. Wow, there's a lot of details to this guy. Can learn who is the puppet. Can learn who was killed by an evil. Clone character by shaman, villager. He can learn all kinds of stuff. Can he learn who was affected by an evil? Yeah, corrupted character by an evil, right? So maybe that's a thing. Druid pick 3 characters, learn 1 random outcast among them, if any. So that can help me to find the doppelganger, if it's the doppelganger, right? Check number 3 over here. 2 of you. Could be a doppelganger, could be a baddie. Number 4, another witness. Okay. So there's got to be at least 1 baddie in these 4. Number 8 was affected by an evil. So you say, we have the judge over here. They're good to find lying characters, unless they themselves are corrupted or bad. You, the jester, can pick 3 characters, learn how many of them are evil. Can help narrow it down if I already know some things, right? Closest evils counterclockwise, you say it's over this way. What about this? Bard, there are no corrupted characters. I'm inclined to... You're telling the truth because, well, there's nobody in the deck that can corrupt. You have to check the deck to play the game properly, I don't think it works. So you're just good. You are just good. There's no corrupted characters. I can trust you. And we can't unlock you because of the witch. Number 8 was affected by an evil. That seems to be a lie, because we've deduced that nobody can corrupt in the board, so you're not been affected by corruption. Who could have affected you? An evil. These are 3 evils. That nobody pretended to be you. You're pretended to flip. You're lying. You're a bad guy. Number 8 was not affected by an evil. Ow, rude. Okay. Which means you're probably good. Unless there's another one in here of you, right? Which could be. Number 2 was affected by an evil. Where's the outcast at? The fake one is probably the bombardier, if I had to guess, and it's a doppelganger. Lots of doppelgangers here. It's the day of the doppelgangers. Learn 1 random outcast among them. If I click out of 3 characters, if I pick 2 characters that I suspect strongly are not outcasts, and have both of you check you for an outcast, I could see... Does that help me narrow it? Who's the outcast? Wretch does not appear as an outcast for her. There's no wretch here. What would just happen is you just like... One of you would say there is an outcast, and one of you would say there is not an outcast, and that wouldn't really help me narrow any information down. I already suspect that one of you is a doppelganger, unless there's somebody over here. What I could do is have the jester check you, you, and you, and see... I could like confirm if the doppelganger is here. Because if the doppelganger is confirmed here, and not, in here, then we could execute you for sure, and find out if you're telling the truth or not. Let's try that. I'm not sure if it's going to work logically or not, but we'll give it a shot. Among 4, 3, and 2, there are 3 evils. Is that possible, or are you just straight up lying? There's at least 1. Could you both be bad? No, you disguise. Disguise is pretend to be somebody that's like on the board. Wait, no. They can disguise as somebody that's not on the board. We've seen that. We've seen it where, like, a character that's not on the board, let's say the druid, could have two bad people pretending to be it. Doesn't happen very often, but it can happen. Or you could just be lying. If you're telling the truth, evil here, doppelganger here, you're telling the truth about number 2 was affected by an evil, because, you know, they're the evil. But then you would be lying, right? No, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. I mean, so far, like, you could be telling the truth, right? And these could all be bad, which means you're probably telling the truth. I could have you check. What if you check to see if they're telling the truth or not? You're saying number 6 is lying. Okay. Which means either you are lying, and I should execute you, because there's no corruption on the board to make a good guy lie. Only the bad guys lie right now in this particular instance. Or you are lying, and you're the bad guy. But if you're the bad guy, then we have 2 evils right here, and only 1 evil left to be in here, not 2, which would make you also lying. So, it could be both of you, actually. But, well, no, because you wouldn't self-report the other one. So, it has to be you are a baddie. That leaves 1 more, and you are good. Which means you're telling the truth about the closest evil being counterclockwise, so you're good. Wish we'd gotten the witch would have been nice so I can reveal this. If you're telling the truth, then they are the bad guy. If you're lying, you are the bad guy. So it's one of you two. It's one of you two. Which means you're good, and I can trust your information. So I can have you check to see, is this the outcasts? And check all this. There is doppelganger, which means you're the doppelganger, and you're the witch. It's been deduced. You're the medium. Next village. Reveal yourself. What do we have this time? 6 villagers, 1 outcast, 2 mediums, 1 demons. Lilith, counselor. 1 villager becomes an outcast role. You sit next to it. The shaman again. There can be 2 same. There are 2 same villager roles in the current village. So you basically you force a duplicate situation. So I'll have 5 villagers and 6, but like 2 will duplicate naturally because of you. No doppelganger this time. Got the wretch bombardier. We have both those on there. Okay, because you had an extra one. First card here, Oracle. 6 or 3 is a counselor. So the Oracle is saying that either 6 or 3 is a counselor, or they are lying. Is there any corruption on the board? We're getting pretty lucky with no corruption. No corruption makes it a bit easier. There's no corruption on the board, which means, if I get out of this, nope, and we can undo that, which means you would be Eve. Nope, undo. Use the right color, evil. You are either the evil, or the draw function in this game is just give me like a pointer that points exactly to the point where it starts instead of like some space distance, right? Because when you try to draw, like, look at where I'm going to do this, look at where the dot appears. It's like not actually touching a corner of my thing, right? But the draw function is kind of added late. All right, so let's keep looking over here. Poet, number 9 is evil. So we have an accusation on number 9. Just put a... You're saying that's evil over there. Or you're evil is the other option, okay. Number 3, we have the judge. You can check for somebody lying, unless you yourself are lying. Whoops, wrong button. Click you. I forgot Lilith is here, and they've slaughtered number 6, which means they were not the counselor. Otherwise, they would not have got slayed, right? I assume. Maybe they could. So either, we got an either or between you two. Okay, let's keep looking over here. We have the jester. You can do some information checking for me. Number 7. We have the bombardier. Okay. Which, keep in mind, I think the bad guys can pretend to be outcasts, right? I think I've seen that. Yeah, I saw like 2 plague doctors at one point. I can check. Do I want to check you? Yes, open you up. The wretch. Okay, so that's the wretch. You're telling the truth. Because the wretch registers as evil, or if it's a bad guy pretending to be a wretch, it'll be an actual evil. So you're telling the truth. You're a truth teller. There's no corruption. So anybody accusing you of being evil is lying. Why have you marked as red? Oh, because I had you marked as red because you might have been lying, but you're telling the truth. Okay. So you're actually good. We are supposed to have 2 outcasts because of the counselor. So that's correct. I'm going to reveal 1. The next one will get slayed. Doesn't matter which one I choose. Well, I don't think you're the counselor because outcast here, outcast here. So counselor has to be next to an outcast, which means you're not the counselor, which means you're lying. You're bad. Yep. Got the shaman. Also, there's a lot of... Clear the board a little bit over here. Okay. Narrowed it down. You're saying number 8 is good. Also, where's the duplicate at? There's supposed to be a duplicate. Maybe the duplicate got slayed already, or is about to. You're saying 6 or 3 could be the counselor. So 6 or 3 cannot be the counselor. Which makes sense, because you're dead and you're too far away, so we kind of already knew that. But he could still be another bad guy. Because there's 3. 8 is either good, or you were lying about 8 being good. Can I use you to check? I'm trying to figure out, like, do I want to flip a card right away and just have one die, or, like, can I deduce which one to flip? You register as evil. You are evil. I could use you to check to see who a third person is, to see if they're evil or not. Yeah, like, check to see if the judge is evil or not. Or, like, you. The problem is, you yourself could be evil. I think you just need to flip a card. You're talking about number 8. Let's check number 8. Okay? You slay number 10. I took 4 damage, because, you deal me 2 damage every time you take out one, right? You're saying number 5 or number 7 is a shaman. So you're basically accusing the jester of being a shaman because... Well, it can't be the bombardier. Actually, no. I mean, it is possible that there was 2 bombardiers and one's been killed, so yeah, it actually could be you, if there's a good bombardier here or here. So we have you calling them good, you saying there's 1 evil in here, which would be the second evil if you're telling the truth. Still got 3rd evil somewhere. I don't know if evil can get killed by Lilith. Maybe it can. I'm curious. You're saying 8 is good. I could check you to see what's going on here. Have you check them. Are they good? You're saying 8 is lying. We have a contradiction here. Which means one of you 2 is evil. One of you 2 is evil. So if you're telling the truth, that means you're telling the truth. And we have 1 evil in here and 1 evil in here. If you're lying, then it's you and you. Is it 50-50 between, these 2 or you and one of these 2? I could try and use you to deduce some more for us. Can I figure out if you're lying? Anyway? I need to see if this guy tells the truth or lies. I have information on 3 that I know. You will register as evil no matter what. You will register as evil. And you will register as good. This guy should say 2 evils. 2 evils, you're telling the truth, you're good. Keep in mind, it could just be 1 evil on the board, right? If there was an evil in there. Wait, I'm dumb. Number 7 is a shaman. The shaman's right there. You're lying. Just pay attention to the whole thing they're saying. Which means you're also lying. It was you. You were good all along. I saw number 5 or 7 wasn't paying attention. That says shaman. Shaman's there. I already got him. Keep on going. We're doing well, though. What do we have this time? Pooka. So there'll be 2 corrupted villagers, if possible. You can't corrupt the outcast if there's an outcast next to you. There's a wretch. There's a shaman, which means there'll also be some an extra duplicates. Okay. Flip over here. Hunter, 2 cards away from closest evils. So you are casting sus on here, or it's you, or you're corrupted. That's also possible. Flip this card over here. I cured 1 corruption. You could be telling the truth. You could be corrupted. You could be lying. You could be anything. Check over here. Empress, 1 is evil. 1, 2, or 4. We already have sus on 1. You're casting sus on 2. I mean, this guy could literally be anything. Maybe we should do, like, the little dots here. It's kind of hard to, like, figure out the best way to, like, keep track of these things mentally. It's so hard to draw a circle with this thing. There we go. Looks like a clock. So you're putting sus on these. So there's only 1 evil in these 3, or they're all good. Number 4, alchemists. 2 alchemists. We can have 2 alchemists because a shaman will duplicate villager roles. So could be a bad in there, or could be 2 of these guys. Flips over here. Another empress. Okay, could be 2 good ones, or it could be a bad guy in there. 8, 2, or 4. Let's make yours with yellow dots. 8, 2, and 4. There's a fair bit of overlap between you guys. You're saying these 2. You're also saying these 2. It's possible you're both telling the truth. And there's an evil in there. That would make sense. You guys are the ones that shaman duplicated one of the good villagers. And one of you guys is a bad guy in there. Could check out. Wretch. So you, a bad guy could be pretend to be you if I can stop stuttering, right? Jester over here. And we have the judge over here. And also pooka is going to be making people lie, wherever they're at. We're supposed to have one outcast, and we do have one outcast on the board, so we know the outcast is good, and you guys are not pretending to be outcasts. One outcast, okay, so you're good. And you can't get corrupted, so you're not corrupted. If pooka is here, then you're telling the truth about corruptions. Somebody left a comment, actually I think 2 people did, about alchemists that say they cure 0 corruptions. Evil characters can't actually do the things of the, can't actually use the abilities of the character they are. They just lie and make stuff up. So, an evil alchemist cannot cure corruptions. So an evil alchemist always effectively cures 0 corruptions. So, if you are evil, you would be telling the truth about curing 0 corruptions. But evils always lie, so you can't be. So it's like the confessor. If the confessor says, I am dizzy, you know they're not good. Or if the confessor says, I am good, you know they're good. If an alchemist says, I cured 0 corruptions, you know they're good. They could still be corrupted. It could be a good alchemist. You know, basically, I cured 0 corruptions means they're not evil. Now, they're not like an evil demon or whatever, right? They could still be a good guy who actually did cure corruptions, but being themselves corrupted, and so they're lying about how many corruptions they killed, blah, blah, blah. But wait, corrupted. Corrupted characters will lie and their ability will not work. So if you are corrupted, that means your ability does not work, and you cure 0. And if you say you cured 0, you are thus telling the truth about how many you corrupted. So yeah, you can't be corrupted either. You're just guaranteed good. Because that little text down there. So you're telling, you're good. You're good, you're telling the truth, which means none of you are corrupted. So if there's no corruptions over here, in any of this side of the board, pooka's got to be over here somewhere. If pooka, you can't get corrupted, so pooka could be here. Pooka could be here hitting both of you. Or pooka could be here hitting you and you. No, because you would have cured that. So yeah, pooka has got to be one of these two, I think. So I'm really missing something. Pooka here, which just leaves us finding shaman. And narrowing down which one's you, right? Knowing if the judge is lying or not could be useful. Pick one character to learn if they're lying. We know you're telling the truth. We'll see what you have to say about that. They're saying that number 4 is saying the truth, which mean, and they are telling the truth, because it's kind of a freebie. I cured 0 corruptions means they're good and not corrupted. So that means you have to be good because you're not corrupted, and you're telling the truth. Wait, where is the corruption happening at if you're not corrupted? I don't understand. Am I wrong? Poke is supposed to be corrupting people next to them. Villagers adjacent to me are corrupted if possible, but where could they be corrupting at? You cured 0 corruptions, which means there are 0 corruptions around here. And if you're not corrupted, where could pooka spawn to actually... If pooka was here, you would be corrupted. If pooka was here, you would lie. Don't understand. Make it make sense! Am I wrong about this? Are you corrupted? If you're good, and, I'm just gonna take a guess here, because, nothing... It's not making sense here. Let's take you. You were a hunter, you were not corrupted. So you're telling the truth. You're telling the truth. I'm 2 cards away from closest evil. It would say corrupted if you're corrupted, so you're good, you're good. You're allowed like 1 free guess per thing. 2 cards away from closest evil, so one or both of you is evil. We narrowed pooka has to be over here, so you have to be pooka, right? No. I don't understand. The alchemist was corrupted, so that's where we went wrong. A corrupted alchemist can say they cured 0 corruptions. So this whole thing down here that says corrupted characters will lie and their ability will not work is wrong. That's incorrect text. Because if his ability did not work, that means he cured 0 corruptions. And he said he cured 0 corruptions, which means he told the truth. So the reason we failed this is because this text is just a playtest by the sweat. This text is wrong. This text is wrong. He either one didn't lie, but he's his ability. So alchemists, when they're corrupted, they still do cure corruption, I guess, of the people to the left and right of them. But who would he have cured? He doesn't cure himself. Did he cure the wretch's corruption? I thought wretches can't get corrupted. This doesn't make sense. Something's wrong here. Maybe somebody explain this to me in the comments, because this doesn't make sense. Because I thought outcasts can't get corrupted, so you corrupted nobody. So you did cure 0 corruptions, which means you're telling the truth. You were good, we were right about that. But you were corrupted. And that's where I got thrown off, because we thought the corruption had to be over here somewhere. So, whatever, it's complicated, I don't fully understand it. The takeaway is, I cured 0 corruptions means they're good, but they themselves could still be corrupted, even though this text down here is, doesn't make sense. Okay. Do another run. 2 evils. Find and kill them. Not another run. We have lives. We used 1 live there. We get to try Village 5 again with different layouts. 1 fake outcast, so one of these not actually in there. Puppeteer, random adjacent villager becomes a puppet if possible. It's evil, but cannot lie. But we still need to take it out. Number 3 is good, you say. You're vouching for number 3. And you, there's only 1 pair of evil, so there's only 2 evils that are right next to each other, unless you're making it up. Fortune teller, pick 2 characters to learn if any of them is evil. Unless you're lying. Remember, there will be an extra thing in here, a puppet that is evil, an evil truth teller, basically. It's getting complicated. 1 is evil, 2, 8, or 5. 2, I feel like this is the easiest way to keep track of visually what you're pointing at there, Empress. 2, 8, or 5. Yellow should be for outcasts, but I like using it for sus rather than outcasts. Okay, check over here. Medium, 8 is a real druid. You're vouching for number 8. 6. Okay, we have duplicates over here, and we do not have the shaman that makes duplicates, right? I think it's a shaman, right? So, it could be a doppelganger, or it could be one of you two. Alright, check over here. Architect, right side is more evil, you say. So, you're saying there's more evil there than here. I'm not sure how useful you are, frankly. Maybe in late game. So we see no Plague Doctor on the board, which means it is the doppelganger in there somewhere. Which means one of you two has to be the doppelganger, and the other has to be a villager. Now that villager could have been turned into an evil villager, is possible, but it is an actual medium and not a puppeteer or a ba. Pick 3 characters, learn 1 random outcast among them. I could use you to... It only works if you're telling the truth, though, but I could use you to figure out which one's a doppelganger. I mean, you're saying that number 8 is a real druid. You're saying number 2 is a real knitter. One of you is telling the truth, and the other... Wait. So, the doppelganger copies a good villager. Now the question is, can that good villager be one that's flipped to evil, or is it like, does it never grab the one that you grabbed? I don't know. Well, the thing is, even if this guy turned that villager into a puppet that is evil, that puppet cannot lie. So either way, whether it's an actual villager or you converting one, is telling the truth. So these are both truth tellers. Now, they could be corrupted, right? No, because a Plague Doctor's not in play. So there's no corruption on the board, which means you are both telling the truth, which means you are a real druid and you are a real knitter. And if you're telling the truth, I can use you to try and deduce which one is the outcast. I think it matters which one, so show me which one is the outcast. There are no outcasts, which means you are the doppelganger. You're the doppelganger, so you have to be good. Now, you, depending how the game works, are either just going to be a good medium, or you could be the puppet. So basically, you're still just kind of sus whether you're the puppet or not. You're vouching for number 3. Since there's no corruption, that means... I mean, you're saying 3 is good. Wait, if you're both good, you cannot be the puppet. You can't be a villager that's evil with telling the truth. You're either a bad guy or a villager. Alright, so... Same for you over here, so... puppet. You can't be the puppet. You can't be the puppet, because you need to be next to them, right? Or is it like a random one? Is it adjacent? Random adjacent villager. So, neither of you can be the puppet, which means one of these 3 is the puppeteer and its puppet are 2 of these down here. So, 2 out of these 3 are bad. So, if you're the puppeteer, you're the puppet. If you're the puppeteer, you're the puppet. Or you be the... So, you're guaranteed to be evil. You're either the puppeteer or the puppet, because there's one of these three. So you're bad, guaranteed. Yep. Which means 2, 8, or 5, based on the way the character, the Empress, it's either one of 3 are evil. If they're lying, they're all good. So 2, 8, or 5 are all good. So 2, 8, and 5 are all good, which means that's not your puppet, which means this is your puppet. We can still use our ability to check things. You're saying 3 is good. They're not. You're the bad one. It's you. There we go. Village is safe. And now I have to go for 2 more villages, 6 and 7 for our win condition. This time we have Ba, adding a fake outcast, seeing you out. We have the shaman over here. Also, we're doing Ascension 4. There's an endless mode that apparently has harder difficulty, so if we get to the point where Ascension 4, 5, 6, 7 are like really easy, I can go to endless for harder challenges apparently. So one of you is not even in here at all. As soon as we see one, the other's ruled out. And we can have 2 villagers with the same role in the village. Number 1, only 7 cards in level 6, interesting. Number 2 is good, so you say. You're vouching for number 2. I am the original baker. One random unrevealed good villager becomes a baker, so I imagine your ability only works if there is a good villager. If lies, you say that you are a random villager role. What does that mean? So, are you one of these things that, like, since you said I'm the original baker, that just means you're telling the truth? Because if you're lying, you would say you're some other role than baker? Are you just, like, guaranteed good when you say that? Like, just a little gimme? Knight. Is there any corruption on the board? If the Plague Doctor is on the board, then yes, you could be corrupted. Otherwise, you can just test them. We got the Wretch here. I don't think you can pretend to be the extra outcast, so I don't think there's going to be another thing. I was an Empress. So the question is, were you an Empress, or are you lying and you were a different role? What you say is one random unrevealed good villager becomes a baker. So, and I think that only works on actual good villagers, not on like the evil that pretend to be villagers, right? So doesn't that just like mean you and the other ones are just like guaranteed good? Are you both just like good? Maybe? Another knight, so one of you is bad. Here we have another baker. Okay. Which, the fact that there's no doppelganger, so what that makes me think is that you can actually convert, so maybe it's one random unrevealed what appears to be good villager on the board. Maybe? Or maybe one of you was just already pretending to be the baker. Because, yeah, you only... Right? One random unrevealed baker becomes a baker. Well, you flip... No. You made an unrevealed card turn into a baker. And then when I flipped you, you are a baker that made another unrevealed card become a baker. Like this. This is one of the things where I don't know how, like, the nuances of the game mechanic works, right? Can a baker convert a Ba that was pretending to be an Empress into a baker? Or can the baker only affect, like, actual good villagers? I don't know. But there's no Plague Doctor, so everybody's telling the truth. Nobody's corrupted, right? Which means the Knight mechanic is an easy test. The way the Knight works, I can't die, so I can click this and kill them, and it's fine, unless they're corrupted. The only way they can die and hurt me is if they're corrupted. But there's no corruption on the board, so if they're good, they can't die. They're telling the truth and they can't die. If they're evil, they're lying and they can die. So, oh, you're the evil one. Let's check you. Oh, they were both... Okay. So far it seems like the baker is just kind of like guaranteed to be good? Maybe? Unless corruption comes into play, I'm not sure. You need to play more. Some of these games just gotta, like, there's always little edge cases, you gotta play more and learn more. 1 is evil, 3, 4, 5, you say? 3, 4, 5, unless you're lying. Also need to check the thing over here. Ba again. And the witch. And we have... Getting a lot of Ba. And there's either a bombardier or Plague Doctor. Hopefully bombardier, because you're at corruption to mix, which makes things a lot harder. Okay, check over... I'm 4 cards away from corrupted character. Which, depends if there's a Plague Doctor or not. No character was affected by an evil. Isn't that just a lie? So what counts as being affected by an evil? If somebody gets turned to a puppet, if somebody is corrupted by an evil, not by a Plague Doctor, if villagers turn to an outcast by a counselor, if they're cloned by a shaman, or killed by an evil, he might actually be telling the truth. Because all these things listed here, so he doesn't talk about people being... He doesn't talk about disguised evil's disguising or evil lying. He's talking like their abilities affecting villagers. And none of these evils here have abilities that affect villagers, right? So I think he's probably telling the truth. And if he was corrupted, I think you're just telling the truth. Check over here. Got a plague doctor. You could be corrupting somebody. Check over here. We have a medium saying number 6 is a real architect. And we have an architect saying right side is more evil. Check right here. Another plague doctor. Well, we know one of you guys is bad because we can only have one. Is it both of you bad? I guess if a bombardier shows up, then both of you are probably bad, right? Or could be. Check over here. Can't reveal that one. Wait. No, we can't have a bombardier show up. So there's no bombardier. There's one plague doctor. So I guess it's possible there could be 3 plague doctors. But one, and I guess... So one of you is bad. I guess even if there's 3, there would be 2 of them be bad. So one of you is good, one of you is bad. The thing is, when evil pretends to be the plague doctor, I don't think they actually can corrupt. Only like the actual plague doctor can corrupt. Apparently evil can't use the abilities. They can only lie about saying they use the abilities. Although I'm not sure about that, because sometimes I've like tried using the lying jester's abilities and it did like narrow down properly. I'm not sure. Just trying to trust the comments. I'm 4 cards away from corrupted character. It's possible. So you're saying it's exactly them. I mean, so you're saying they're corrupted, which could be true. Or you could be corrupted, which could be true. One's evil, 3, 4, 5. But like the Empress would be better because you're like a weaker version of the Empress. The Empress says, if you're lying, they're all good. If you're lying, you just pick 3. If you're lying, you just pick 3 at random. Useless information. Well, if you're telling the truth, one of them is evil. If you're lying, it's either 2 are evil, 3 are evil, or none are evil. Well, it can't be 3 is evil because there's only 2 evils. If you're lying, here's the thing. If you're lying, you are one of the evils, and there's only 1 evil left to be down there. So if you're a bad guy, and this 1 is evil thing you're saying over here is a lie, then that means there's either 0 evils, which could be true, 2 or 3, which can't be. So if you're evil, then these are all good just because, well, there's only 1 other evil, and it can't be 1 because then you'd be telling the truth, which doesn't work. So there's either 0 evils here. So effectively, just because I have 2 evils, you're functioning kind of like the what's her face, the Empress, just because I have only 1 other evil available other than you, right? So it's either 0 or 1 evils in here. Which could just make it so that you're the evil, and good, and you're the evil. That checks out. Or you could be good, and, you could be evil. And there's another evil somewhere else, right? I've got 2 plague doctors. One of their abilities actually works. Do I try them both on you and see what happens? Number 7 is evil. So this plague doctor is saying that, yes, they are corrupted, and that number 7 is evil. What will you say? You'll say number 6 is not corrupted. So if you're telling the truth, number 6 is not corrupted, that means you're lying, and you're lying. Which does check out with what you're saying. And you're saying 6 is a real architect, and you're saying more evils on the right side. That does check out, with you saying that's right, and you saying there's more evil over there than over here. If you're telling the truth, then we have a lie. I'll keep in mind 1 person's corrupted somewhere. If you're telling the truth, then you're evil or corrupted. You know what? We have... let's just do this. Okay, it was right. It's one of these things where, like, I could sit here and try to figure it out, but, like, we're given 1 free miss. Let's just use it, right? Which means we're telling the truth. Number 6 is corrupted. One of these. Number 6 is a real architect. If they're corrupted, evil doesn't get corrupted. Only good guys get corrupted, so I think it means you're telling the truth. You're right about them being corrupted, so that's telling the truth. You're the bad guy over here. Also kill the witch so I can reveal this. An original baker. You're the baddie right there. Village is safe. Been playing for an hour. I want to keep playing. Ascension level increase. Level 4. Or I guess it caps at level 4? Maybe I can do level 4 one more time and then another one? Well, there's the victory. If I want to play more, I can make another video. But there it is. Thanks for watching. And I've got plenty more videos you can watch too. Like this one right here. See you next time!